Today we're honored to speak to Cody Lindley, a former Louisville High School student that you may recognize from shows like Hannah Montana and Dancing with the Stars. Like many other Louisville ISD graduates we've interviewed, Cody says LISD played a pivotal role in his childhood and prepared him for success after graduation. So hey Cody, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
My pleasure, Hillary. Yeah, happy to be here.
You have had an amazing career. You were every little girl's crush on Hannah Montana. You wowed us with your dancing on Dancing with the Stars. You were in my personal favorites, Sharknadoes 4 and 5. But before you got to Hollywood and did all of that, you were actually a student at Louisville ISD. So tell me, what was one of your favorite things about being in LISD?
I would say the community and the camaraderie that I felt with all my peers, going to the football games and cheering on my friends and being a part of the basketball team. It really gave me a sense of home and a sense of fun and a sense of community.
Do you ever get to come back to Louisville and visit friends or family?
I do. I was born and raised in Louisville, and I still come back each year, a few times throughout the year, because I do teach acting in the area there, and I also want to come see my family.
So Cody, out of all the roles that you've played, what would you say is your favorite?
That's kind of a hard question. The most favorite role that I played that's on film, I would say, was Mullet Fingers. When I was 15 years old, I got to be in Florida for 3 months and work with Brie Larson and Logan Lerman and Luke Wilson, and I got to drive a boat in the Everglades, and a helicopter was filming us, and I got to see alligators and manatees and swim and play and meet burrowing owls. So Mullet Fingers was my favorite role because in a way he reminds me a lot of myself. He was just even more wild because he's a boy who's always barefoot, running around with his shirt off, and lives in the woods, catches fish with his bare hands, and stands in front of a bulldozer to protect little burrowing owls.
And it just goes to show, because you've worked with some really, really big names. You've worked with people like Luke Wilson and Brie Larson. You've been on Jimmy Kimmel. You've been on The Ellen Show. And to get to that level, you have to have a lot of professionalism and dedication. Those are great attributes. So what would you say is one attribute that you feel like you got from Louisville ISD along the way?
I would say consistency of care and teachers that encourage me to believe in myself and to work hard in order to achieve my dreams. I always wanted to balance my acting and arts with education and school, and I feel that it gave me a more well-rounded approach to growing up, because working in the entertainment industry as a kid can be a little mind-boggling, but I always felt at home with my teachers and with my peers in class.
Well, I love hearing you talk about your teachers, because LISD really has some amazing teachers. And you touched on this a little bit, but what are some ways that you feel like they prepared you for life after you graduated?
I think holding me accountable for not showing up on time or not doing my homework. There's one specific teacher, actually he was a coach. His name was Coach Will Height, and when I was in 9th grade, we were at a basketball tournament, and I was crying because we lost the game, and I felt like it was all my fault. And Coach was telling me, hey, it's not all your fault. You did the best you could. Think about Michael Jordan, how many times he lost before he finally won those championships. And even when he won the championships, there were games that he lost. So don't get too down about whenever you make a mistake or you don't win. Just keep your head in the game and keep going and learn from it, because that's what you do. And I think that was the most important lesson that I can remember from my entire childhood was, yes, it's okay to grieve a loss, but you can continue to grow and be better. And if you work hard, you can achieve your dreams. And if you fall short, it doesn't mean that you lost. You can always keep trying.
Well, so you mentioned, there is a lot of competition. There are a lot of ups and downs if you choose an acting career or anything in entertainment, really. What are some of the challenges that you would tell kids that are currently in school and want to do what you do? What are some of the challenges you feel like they should be prepared for?
some of the pitfalls that I've seen others as well as myself fall into is getting distracted. When you come out to LA, you have a big dream, but there's so many people and there's so many things to do that sometimes it's hard to stay focused. So I would encourage you to set a strategy, create goals and deadlines for yourself, and create those connections, have confidence in yourself, and continue to work on your craft so that you can make your dream a reality.
You know, for students that are currently in school, what would you recommend to them to kind of help them make the most of their time while they're in school at LISD, and, you know, just really make the most of their time in school so that when they leave, they feel like, you know what, I really got out of it what I wanted to?
I love being in school, but I also remember thinking, like, I can't wait till I grow up. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And there's pros and cons to both, being a kid and being an adult. So I would just say, enjoy your time in school while you can, and really don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone and try to learn something new every day. School does prepare you for life in a lot of ways, because just like work, you have to show up on time every day and do your work. You got to work as a team.
So let's talk a little bit about your short-term and your long-term goals when you were at LISD. Did you end up accomplishing the things you set out to do, and was it hard to stay on track with those?
I would say yes and no, that some of my short-term goals I was able to achieve. My goal was to be a successful actor, and I feel that I've been able to do that, but I also teach acting, and my long-term goal, and one now that is a little more closer, is to be able to write and direct and act in a film. So I've been working towards that goal.
Those are great goals. And there are a lot of students who I'm sure feel about entertainment the way that you did when you were in school at LISD. They really want to have a career in the performance arts in some way, and they want to be able to make a lifelong career of it the way that you have. So what advice would you give someone who's currently in school and setting those goals for themselves?
I would say to work hard and to have fun and to learn as much as you can. I would encourage students who are trying to pursue acting or working in the entertainment industry to diversify their knowledge. So stay focused on school, but also follow your heart and follow the love of arts that you have. I encourage anyone who really loves acting to do it, even if it's for fun. Start there. You can do it at school in plays. You can start a community theater in your hometown. You can write and direct your own stuff. You can use your camera phone and create your own work. And so I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed by how many steps there are to get to point Z. Just focus on one day at a time and one practical step each week or each day or each moment, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be, and maybe you'll surpass that, and maybe you'll go somewhere else that you didn't expect. But as long as you give it your all and you put your whole heart into something, then you know that you can sleep well at night because you put in the work.
All right, well, thank you, Cody, so much for taking the time to chat with us today and share your experiences with LISD and what's going on in your career, and hopefully we can meet up again soon and talk about all the new projects you're working on.
Absolutely, my pleasure, Hillary, and good luck to you and to everyone who's watching this.